Hi everyone, happy Sunday. Well, at least today is Sunday, and therefore I'm going to be having a glass of wine, matching my dark outfit and lipstick. So today I wanted to make a video about, again, related to introversion because that's what I'm talking about now. And those of you who are introverted might know that many introverts also tend to be highly sensitive people, or the acronym for it is HSP. So I feel like I identify with that. And honestly, part of me feels like maybe it is a personality trait, but also it might be a nature versus nurture type of situation. So how you grew up and the things that growing up affected you maybe led to you becoming the person that you are today. And I do think that for me that's the case, because I don't think I was as sensitive as a child as I am now. I am so sensitive, it's ridiculous. So of course, like last time, I did find an article through Introvert Dear that's titled Things You Do Because You're a Highly Sensitive Person. And so there's a list of various things. So I'm not going to go through all of them because otherwise this will be really long, but I wanted to share a few. Before I start that, I want to say I'm sorry that you can't see my eyes because the reflection of the outside. I try to film these videos with natural light because that's the best lighting possible, and of course that's going to reflect on my glasses. And I would take my glasses off, but then I can't really see very well, and it's like, nah, I want to be able to see. Also, as you may have noticed if you watched my last video or any of my videos, I do talk a lot with my hands. That has, I've known that. That's just the way I talk. I like to be very animated, I guess. But one time, this is so funny and it's totally true, it got pointed out to me by a homeless man. I was talking to a friend and this homeless man was just in the distance, like looking at us. And I was like, what is he looking at? And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's like, "You talk a lot with your hands, ma'am." I was like, oh, okay, thank you. So I do apologize if that makes you dizzy, but that's just the way I communicate. All right, so let's get into this, okay? Things you do because you're a highly sensitive person. So number one, in a loud, busy place, like a bar, restaurant, or party, you shut down or zone out because you're overwhelmed with sensory input. You leave these events earlier than others do, or more likely you don't go at all. So I think that's partially true for me. I think if it's a party where I know all the people or I know I'm going to feel really comfortable, then I don't mind because I love to dance. So for me, it's like, hey, I don't mind going to a club or something where I know I'm going to be comfortable. But if it's something that I know that I'm not going to be comfortable, like if it's a party with people I don't know, people that I would normally not hang out with, and I don't know, maybe it's just going to be that kind of party, then I feel exactly like this would say. I feel out of place, I feel overwhelmed by everything that's going on, so I try to leave as quickly as possible or not go at all if I can avoid it. So yeah, that's part of being a highly sensitive person. Number two, you change the TV channel when a commercial about hunger or animal abuse comes on. Yes, I do. If not, I mute it and I try to look at my phone. It's really sad because I feel like, you know, I feel so deeply, and I know that these commercials are supposed to get to your emotions so that you can help out and like realize the reality of what certain people go through or what animals go through. I totally get that, and I would never deny that. But it's so hard for me to watch those things because I feel so deeply. I will literally be depressed for the rest of the day or even a couple of days. One time I saw a video of a doggy that was been abused, and oh my god, to this day I can picture it clearly, and I was crying so much and I was depressed for the rest of the day. So that's why I try not to watch those things. It's not because I'm denying them, but it's just so hard and like it literally affects me. It's just part of being highly sensitive. Okay, this is number three, you have a particular morning or bedtime routine. This is absolutely true for me. I think, you know, part of being so sensitive is you try to control as much as you can so that you won't get hurt. And I really truly think that that's what it is. It's not that, oh yes, it's so much a personality thing. I think it's really like we're trying to avoid getting extremely emotional about something and trying to avoid getting hurt. So we go ahead and have routines for everything. So my routine normally in the morning is I'll get up, I'll feed my cat, then I take a shower, brush my teeth, then I'll do my, I'll put lotion on myself, I pick out my clothes, put them on, I do my makeup and do my hair, and then I'm done. And so that's normally my routine all the time, every day. So when I'm not home, it's a little bit hard for me to adjust because I'm like, oh, this is my routine, so now I have to change it. So it's kind of a control thing for whatever reason. That's just what makes me feel comfortable, is knowing that I have this routine. And the same thing with bedtime. It's like I have a routine because it just helps me just be able to, I guess, know what's coming up next. For as weird as that sounds, but that's part of that sensitivity, right? Let's skip a few. Yes, this one's very true. Number 5, I skipped number 4. You immediately become quite stressed and anxious when someone raises their voice at you. Now, it doesn't have to be at me. It can be at anybody else. If I hear someone getting upset, I immediately, I don't know why, but my gaze goes to some other place. Like I try not to look at the person, and I immediately get anxious. One example, this is not so much that the person was next to me, but my apartment is right across the street from my university's parking lot. And believe it or not, I can hear things pretty well. Like the walls are very thin. So one time there was it was a graduation actually going on, and everything was closed. My windows were closed, the door was closed because it was hot that day, and I could hear someone yelling and like screaming. And I was like, what is happening? So I looked through my window and I see that this couple is fighting, and it was ugly, like verbally. So I opened the window to see, and the guy and the girl were yelling at each other, but it was a really ugly fight. Like, it wasn't the regular argument between a couple. It was like the guy was being super harsh, and like his voice was really loud and mean, and she was like crying. It was awful. I immediately got anxious. Like, my heart started beating. I was like shaking. Mind you, I'm not even part of this argument. I'm like so far away. I'm just looking at them. I'm just listening, but it made me so anxious. I actually called the police because I had a feeling he was going to hit her or something was going to happen. And they told me that some other people had called, and I saw the police going. But the point is that the rest of the day, I was so anxious. I literally had to take I didn't take anything. I think I just had a glass of wine because I don't take medication for anything, but a glass of wine helped me relax because I was that worked up about it. Okay. Let's see. Oh, number 6 was even when complete strangers are fighting. Yeah, exactly. That's what I just said. Let's see. I'm going to skip a few. When you fall in love, you fall hard. Now, I could say this is true. I think defining what love is, like falling in love, is very unique to each person. There are many times that I thought I was in love with people, and as time went by and like we broke things off, I realized maybe I wasn't in love with them. I think I was just in love with the idea of them. But there was a person a couple years ago that I was truly in love with, and I felt super hard for this person because for someone like me, and I think for some introverts or those who identify as INFJs, we tend to be very loyal to one person. So when I like someone, I'm like very much about them, and I mean, it's just my life revolves around them. Not in a needy, like annoying way, but just like I care so much, right? And for example, the guy I'm dating right now, that's how I feel. Like, I am so in love with him. I'm just like, I love you so much. Like, you just fall really hard. And I think that's why it's hard to end certain relationships. And at least for me, it has been hard to end past relationships because I was so in love with the person that I was like, how am I going to survive this? But you do survive it. You do survive it, girl. Just so you know. Girl or guy, because everyone goes through this. Okay. So number 9, due to your heightened empathy, you absorb other people's emotions. So this kind of goes, again, with the whole watching sad commercials. And it's very true. I mean, when I see people that are sad, especially people that I know or I'm close to, it hurts me. And I think, like I said in my last video, it has to be genuine. So if I feel people's genuine emotions, I will feel them hard. And like the guy that I'm dating, we laugh because he likes watching sad movies. And I know one of my friends who might be watching, hey girl, she also likes to watch sad movies because her and him both like to have those emotions be brought out. For me, it's the opposite. I'm like, I cannot watch sad movies, and I literally avoid watching them because they depress me. So I try to watch happy things, and so that's basically what it is. It's just like having seen other people sad or upset really upsets me. And I know it's similar or the same for a lot of other people who are highly sensitive people. It's just we absorb other people's emotions, which I think is why we need time alone. Like introverts need a lot of alone time because we need to be able to like, oh, okay, now let me feel things, let me process things. And I've noticed over the years that for me, anytime I go through something really overwhelming or difficult or exhausting, I need to have that time alone because that's the only time I can really process what happened. I can't process things when other people are talking to me, when other people are around me. I need that time alone. So yeah, very important. But yes, other people's emotions really get to me. Okay, let's see. A normal day at work can be utterly exhausting. So yes, very true. And that can be true for anybody, but I think for highly sensitive people, I have family and friends that don't understand when after a day of work, I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to see anybody. I just want to relax. Thankfully, the guy I'm dating is so understanding and so wonderful. Like, he knows that if we're going to hang out after I get off work, he's okay with letting me have some time to myself. Like, I'll have maybe 2 or 3 hours to myself so that I can, like, regroup and, like, just relax a little bit before I hang out with him. Because otherwise, I'll be really irritable. And that's what happens. Sometimes work, I mean, even if, like, my job is not hard, but it's exhausting. So it's like, and it could just be, like, a day of just answering calls, going to meetings, and I'm tired because it's just all that social interaction. I'm just like, oh, I'm just so drained. So I need the time alone. Okay. You have a very strong sense of smell. I think that's, for highly sensitive people, light, sounds, and smells are very, like, your senses are heightened. For me, smells, like, I mean, yes, I can smell things, obviously, like anybody else. But what happens with me is I'm very sensitive to certain smells to the point where I'll immediately get a headache. So, and that does not mean that someone who's not highly sensitive won't have that, because you can just have a nose like mine where your sinuses are so messed up, right? But I think it's partially true. It's just like I'm sensitive to sounds and smells and lights. So like if lights are really bright, I'm like, you know, or if something's like really loud and like annoying, I need to make sure that doesn't happen, right? So yeah, maybe not so much smell, but for me it's really sounds and lights. Let's see, skipping a few. You're very sensitive to dips and spices, sugar, caffeine, alcohol, and even prescription. So here it says that caffeine, alcohol, and even prescription drugs can have a strong effect on you. You may limit their use, and in some cases avoid them altogether. So clearly, I like to drink wine. I actually had coffee this morning, so I don't have a problem with those things. I've never done any drugs, but I think it's for that reason because, for example, if you know NyQuil, it's a nighttime medicine when you have a cold. I can't take NyQuil even at night because if I do, the next day I'm still so out of it from the medicine that I literally can't function. Like I've had to leave work and go back home because I felt like I was high. So I'm very sensitive to those things. Weirdly enough, coffee has the opposite effect on me. Like where most people would be awake all day, maybe not at night from drinking coffee, I can have a cup of coffee before going to sleep and I'll fall asleep like within minutes. I don't know why, but it's just like how my body is. But I think for that reason, and I think again, kind of going back to the controlling thing, I have never tried any like hardcore drugs. I've only had weed, which to me is not a big deal, but I haven't tried anything else because I feel like, one, I like to be in control. I like to know what's happening and what's going on around me. Anytime I have like wine even, I mean, I guess with alcohol it's a little bit different because it's more socially acceptable, but let's say if I smoked, if I had weed, I would only do it at my home because I feel like I need to know where I am. I need to be in control of that situation. So that's why I've never tried anything else because I'm just like, I don't know how I would react, and it'd be really terrible if I happen to be that person that it gets affected the wrong way and I die or something, right? So yeah, I don't like to do those things. But coffee and wine, I'm cool with those. Okay. You are deeply moved by beauty. It's one of those. It says beautiful art, surroundings, music, words, or thoughts. You may cry, feel an immense sense of fullness and awe, or feel you have stepped outside of your physical body. And that is so true. I think people who are highly sensitive, we do see the beauty in those things that maybe other people are like not a big deal. But if I hear someone play a song and it's like so beautiful, I will cry. If I see a piece of art that just touches my heart, I will cry. If I see, like, just driving to the beach the other day, I was like on the verge of tears because I was just like, it's so beautiful. So it's just very touching to me, and so I cry. I'm very sensitive that way. Let's see. I'm skipping a few again because there's so many. You often turn down. Okay. Number 20. You often turn down social invitations, even if you're an extrovert. So I certainly do. I know I have a friend on Instagram and I've met him in person before, but he'll invite me to parties, and I think it's for a business that he has, but like he'll invite me to these parties, and I'm like, honestly, I barely know you, and just by seeing the kind of life that you live, I have no interest in going to a party. It just feels like it's the kind of people that I would not feel comfortable around. So kind of going back to the first point of this video, if I don't feel comfortable, I don't want to go, or if I do go, I will leave as quickly as I can. So yeah, social invitations by people I don't really know, or like last minute ones, I'm not comfortable accepting. 21, this is very true for me. Malls and stores can be sensory overload. And that is absolutely true. For example, even grocery shopping, I go once a month, maybe twice if I have to, but I try to go once a month so I can get everything I need for that month. And even going, I have to mentally prepare and like be really truly ready to go out and be in that kind of environment. Like, I know there's gonna be a ton of people. It's not the kind of place I want to be. So it's really hard for me to go shopping. And malls too, I have to be in the mood for it. Like, I thought to myself this weekend, oh, maybe I'll go to the mall and get like this outfit that I need for this event that I'm going to. And I just cannot bring myself to do it because I'm like, you know what? I'd rather sit here by myself at home, enjoy a glass of wine and chill. Like, I don't want to be around crowds of people, you know? And so I feel like that is very true. So I don't like shopping. I don't like going on any type of shopping unless I'm like really comfortable. And even if I do go, I try to make it a fast thing. So if I go, I'll probably be there for an hour, maybe 2 tops, but that's it. Like, I try to move fast. I don't like to be in crowds and things like that. And I don't know why that is. I feel like over time that has changed. Like, as I've gotten older, I've become more anxious about those type of things. I don't know why. Okay, number 22, you're always trying to get the volume just right on your music, on TV, and your headphones. One click upward or downward makes a big difference to your comfort level. So yeah, that is true. And I think, like I said before, sounds and light, smells are very important to me in controlling those as much as I can. And so when I listen to music in my car, for instance, I blast the radio in my car. Not the radio, but whatever I'm playing, I blast it because I love to listen. I love the music to take over the entire thing. So I'm just like, yeah, blasting music. So if I'm probably one of those annoying people like that have the bass going, I don't care because I just love how it sounds. Same, if I have on my headphones, I like to really, really hear the music. I like to hear that bass. I like to hear the rhythm. I like to be like immersed in it. And with TV, it's not as important to me, but I still like to hear the sound as well as I can. So yeah, I am pretty sensitive to that, I suppose. Number 23, you're extremely observant of other people. Yes, I am. As an introvert girl, I just watch everybody. I pay close attention to people, and I think that's part of me being so sensitive and intuitive. I just try to read people as much as I can, and I'm not right all the time. Sometimes I'm totally wrong, but I feel like for the most part, I can read people pretty well, and I'll get a sense of, this is not someone I want to hang out around, or this is someone that seems really cool, like I think we get along. So yeah, people, I watch people all the time. Let's see. You have trouble saying no. Ugh, unfortunately, that's so true for me. Being highly sensitive, it's really hard. I think as I've gotten older, I've been getting better at saying no, but for the longest time, it was so hard for me. And I think it's part of it. I don't want to disappoint people, and I'm a people pleaser, so it's just part of it. So, I mean, it goes as far as, like, I remember when I was in college, And sometimes you'd have people selling stuff to you in the middle of the campus, right? And one time I remember, and I ended up buying some hair salon type package that I never used, and it was like $100 something. And at the time I was a broke student, so it really hurt me financially. It's like to this day it makes me so angry that I couldn't just say, you know what, no thank you. I felt so bad I said yes. So yeah, I think for highly sensitive people it's really hard for us to say no because we don't want to disappoint anybody. But it's so stupid. We should be able to do whatever we want, right? Anyway, you seek meaning in all that you do. And I think that is very true, and it's the last one here. Anything that I do, especially work-wise, I need to find a meaning in it because I don't like to do things that are robotic, right? If I'm doing anything, I feel like it needs to mean something, either to me or to someone else. So I like to see that if I'm helping someone, that it's meaningful. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I guess like if I'm helping someone, when I hear the feedback, when they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, that was so helpful, or oh wow, you're so nice, I'm really glad I talked to you, and like, oh, you changed my perspective on that, or you made my day, that makes me feel so good about the work that I do, that it's just like, it's so worth it. I don't care what I'm doing. I could be like picking up trash or, changing policies. It doesn't matter. As long as I'm helping someone and it means something, then it means the world to me. So those are some of the things that define highly sensitive people, or things that highly sensitive people do. Are you a sensitive person? If you are, let me know in the comments below. And if you're not, tell me what you think. I'm just so curious to see who else out there feels the same way that I do. And I know there's a lot of people who do. So I hope this is helpful. And yeah, I'm excited to make more videos. I have some ideas for topics I'm going to talk about at a later time, and hopefully with more frequency. And so yeah, stay tuned for those. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!